Okay, this video is about quantum entanglement. There's three different ways that quantum entanglement works to me spiritually, and it's pretty cool. The first way I thought about was how. Well, first I gotta explain what like quantum entanglement is. Quantum entanglement is basically what happens when you take a photon and you split it in half. No matter how far apart the photons are, whatever is done to one photon, the other photon reacts similar or corresponding to what the other photon is doing. So, if you research about quantum entanglement or what it is about, Albert Einstein coined it as spooky action at a distance. They say that when one of them goes left, the other one goes right, or the other one goes up, the other one goes right, the other one goes down, the other one goes left, or something like that. Basically, that's how they basically explain it. Um, they've noticed that that happens with electrons. Um, they say that it can happen. It happens also with photons too. And I haven't researched much info, but I just know that the research is real, it's true. It was a theory of Albert Einstein that happens with photons and whatnot. And so my first thought about that was basically that in the beginning there was light, and we all came from the one light. We all came from this one singularity. That light basically to me is God, and we all split, and it all began, and the whole universe began, and in some ways, so we are all connected. We are all part of the same light. Um, so from that stems the idea that we are all similar. We all feel each other's pain. Um, Even though we're all different in our own different ways. We're all unique. We're all still similar in our own ways. We're just different species of the same quantum being, which is basically God, because God created us in His image. So we're all different images of God, basically. So then, uh, the second the second theory that came out of it, right, is that um, second theory that came out of it was how oh, if we share a certain moment together, like two people sharing the same moment, later on they will go and think about each other and remember each other. So, and that has to do with light being in the same moment and in the memory. So light in the memory, basically, two one moment that two people share, the light always resides with them. Light never dies. And so light always resides with us in our memories. And um, whatever we had in that conversation, let's say we had a conversation together, whatever we felt in that conversation, I think that we are kind of like telepathic in a way where if I'm thinking about that moment, somehow you may be thinking about that same moment, or subconsciously thinking about that same moment, or it may affect you in a certain way because we're sharing the same light, and light lives and it has to die. So how does it die? Maybe it splits, and you see that light always spreads out. So I'm guessing light spreads out just like the way it did in the Big Bang. We all became different pieces of the light. Light also has different fragments as well and resides in everybody's memory. And we think that it dies, but it actually doesn't. It resides in everything, in every little object that is, because there's gravity, and then light gets caught in gravity and stuff like that, and space-time loops and whatever. So basically, I think where the power of Jesus Christ comes in, at that point is like you have the ability to forgive somebody, bless somebody like your enemy, or somebody someone done wrong. Uh, if you forgive them, they might be able to feel it. If you pray for them, they might be able to feel it. If you love them, they might be able to feel it. Jesus says, love thy enemy as you love thy neighbor, forgive everybody, turn the other cheek and whatnot, all these different things implicating the truth behind the light. And he says, I am the light, I am the way. So if you follow Jesus' way and you're spreading the light, then you are giving off that light. You're giving off that energy. As I've read before about Jesus' light, I can look it up again. Jesus says, I am the light, I am the way. Yes, we know that. Jesus says, my words will never fade. I already said that before in my other video. My words will never fade. He says, the world will fade, but my words will never fade. Jesus says, you are the light. You are the light, right? Let's see. You are the light. It says you are the light of the world, right? Here we go. Jesus says you are the light of the world. Bam, boom, bada, bing, bada, boom, bam, ba. And now I calculate it. And then I put speech, and I put start speaking.
You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. 15. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. 16. In just the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven.
So basically, that's basically saying like you are the light of the world, etc., etc. When you follow Jesus' light, you are being a part of the light. And so you may reside in people's memory when you do good deeds and whatnot. I think God sees that. I think you're part of doing what God wants and whatnot. So that's a good thing. So yeah, that's basically it. What's the third way? I did this a long time ago. How I came up with this was because like I was on Facebook and I was YouTube and I was like sharing videos and whatnot. And I was thinking about how many viewers am I seeing getting to around the world, and I was thinking how fast my message is getting across the world, and it could be getting across the world faster than the speed of light. So I thought about how in the beginning of the universe we all split. There's different light, and but somehow I'm able to get a message across from one space to the other instantaneously. Why is that? Is it because electronics and whatnot? No, it's because we as spiritual beings have found a way through using our technology to move one message across to another. Now spiritually, if I feel something, you may feel something across the world. Like if you got a child that's on the inside of the earth and he died, you may feel something. You're like, holy shit, I have this weird feeling. Then you call inside of the world, instantaneously the message is sent. So that's one way that there is a quantum entanglement, because it doesn't take any light speed for it to reach from one place to another. That's the other thing about quantum entanglement. It's like if it doesn't very have to deal with light speed. It has to deal with the fact that everyone is connected, So if everything is connected, and everything from the beginning of the world is connected to to now, something that is happening on the edge of the universe, you might be feeling it. You can feel it, and it doesn't have to take any space-time for you to feel it. So if that's true, what if everything that humans ever thought is real in a different, world, in a different dimension, whatever? Now I'm gonna spill out my theories right now because I'm gonna make other theories about it. I've talked about it before. In the beginning of the universe, I don't believe that there was just the Big Bang. I know that that's all we know so far, but I believe that in the beginning of the universe, there was not just a Big Bang. There was the mind's Big Bang as well. So you have the mind and the physical world, and they're kind of like born at the same time, overlaying each other. And so different things are sporadic and about. And there's a spiritual world, there is the physical world, there is chaos world. There's different frequencies of what this world can be like into the world. Different dimensions born into the world. All the different dimensions are the different frequencies. All the different sounds and different, like sound basically travels like has a different frequencies and stuff like that. So if you have different frequencies, you have different wavelengths of how the universe is created. And so when the universe organizes, some frequencies go in one way and then some frequencies go in the other way. And the universe is so grand and so great that these frequencies, these sounds and whatever are cosmic universal sounds. And they're not just sounds, they're cosmic fucking dimensions basically. And that's how the universe was born. And one of those is a spiritual, world. And so I believe that as it was created, I'm not supposed to be mentioning all of this right now, but the point of it, I'm going to talk about that later. I've mentioned it in another video before. What is the point of it? That there's multiple universes, basically. And I'll get into, what I was basically talking about that in a different one. I'll call it multiple universes or something like that. Whatever. How the multiple universe born? Anyways, the point is different dimensions created out of, God. God created different multi-universes in which we live one way or another, and because he's God, he can choose to see it in different ways, or he probably wants to see it in different ways. So he created all the different possibilities ever. But why was all of those universes also created? Because those are all universes of us, and in some way we are still connected to those universes mentally. We imagine seeing those other universes, or think about, imagine if I was living like this, imagine if I was living like that. So in that way, we're still connected to those universes, and it's the reason why God created it. God is us, and we are God. So we did create those other universes. We want to imagine living those other universes. So I believe, it's a possibility. If you die, you can live those other universes. You are also entangled to those other universes. So, stories like X-Men and Star Wars and all these other books that we've imagined and everything like that, I think it's possible that it's all real. We don't know if it's real. We're not sure, but somewhere in a different dimension or different Earth, it's real. And they may look at us and be like, "Well, imagine if the world was like this, like a cartoon world. There could be a cartoon world out there." Wondering if things can be an actual real world, like the way we are right now. They may be living in a dream world and wanting a physical world where things are legit. Where, I don't know. And it may be like looking at the other side of the coin, like a total different way of looking at. From looking at the dream world, looking at this world be looking completely different. Anyways, I don't want to dive into that world because that's like writing a whole new story. Like I can write a whole new story about diving into a dream realm or a cartoon realm and looking at our realm and wanting what we want, or et cetera, and how will that work? It's crazy. But the point is that it's possible that all of those worlds actually exist, and we are imagining them because we're quantumly entangled to it. We're quantumly entangled to each other, so we're connected and we're able to send information to each other at the speed of light now. So I believe it's possible for us to send messages across the universe at the speed of light. And if we want to connect to alien beings or spiritual beings like, God and whatever, we can do so by, how do I say that? We can do so by just thinking about it and feeling it. Same way we can pray for somebody who's in distress or people in trouble in the other side of the world and whatnot. We can do so by just praying for them. We can heal them. We can do things like that by praying for them. And I don't think that, the government or the media may show it happening, but I believe it's happening. And, for example, I'm not gonna give no examples that I'm not sure of, but I seen a video of these kids in Africa. They were being used for slavery. They're making them work, but are they starving? I believe that somehow my prayers, that these were the same children that were starving. Somehow my prayers to stop them from starving has helped. But now we have a new dilemma that the forces of darkness do, is that they are like making them work like slaves. But the media wants to show you the negative things, not the positive things. They don't want to show you, oh, look, somehow these people are not starving anymore. Isn't it a miracle? No. Our prayers probably were answered and did this. But in order to sugarcoat it, they're going to throw on some negative things. So, um, I'm gonna talk about this later because this video is getting long. I'm gonna talk about that, but that's gonna be the battle between good and evil. I'm gonna make a new video about that. Okay, so I'll talk to you later and thank you. Bye. Yeah. Sorry, I'm continuing on. Basically, the point of quantum physics is we're all quantumly entangled. You can connect to other people. You can pray to other people. You can change a moment, a bad moment that you had with somebody, into a good moment by rethinking it and refixing it and making something positive out of it. Forgiving everyone like Jesus says, loving your enemies, trying to resolve the conflicts in your mind, and praying for your enemies and praying for everybody and blessing the world in that way. Now the problem here comes is the forces of darkness, because you have this ability to do such a thing, you are battling with the forces of darkness who want to stop that power. Anyway, so I'm gonna get to talking about that later. Bye. Thank you.